and of course Yakult brothers. Now underway, in case you weren't aware of the standings, of course Yakult brothers, they are the ones that need the win much more than AVULUS, who have already been confirmed to be eliminated. Of course Yakult brothers looking for a 2-0 to keep their chances high of making it through to the next stage of DreamLeague Season 26. No confirmation, even if they do get a 2-0, nothing's guaranteed. But it's a better chance. You don't want to draw, you definitely don't want a loss, that's for sure.
Certainly not. You want to have the highest probability of just making true, and that just entails focusing on this game here for Yakult brothers. See a little bit of a slightly late smoke out from them as they group up. Same thing from AVULUS though. They did manage to get the forward board onto that tier 1 earlier. It could give them a little bit more as the smokes do early pop, so should be able to sense the D ward here as well for Mobe. Start to at least eke out just a little bit of an advantage if they do have a sentry on hand. A bit far forward from Baboka by himself, and the forward wards are there to spot a smoke break, but it's going the long circle.
He is going in a long circle. Baboka will have his smoke broken very soon. Smiling Knight's going to see him. He'll go for a bit of a run towards the east. AVULUS, meanwhile, they were smoked up prepping for a fight up at that top bounty rune spot, but they decide, obviously nobody shows up anyway, so they just leave it. It is going to be that mid-nature's prophet from a bay up against, of course, the storm of Emo. Now, this is an interesting one, John, because you don't see mid-prophet that often anymore. I'd still assume against the storm, you should have a pretty big advantage on the prophet, but what do you reckon?
Yeah, it should still be relatively simple for the storms, for the nature's prophet. As a storm, it's going to be painful to try to eat through the treant. It also can just block off your static remnant, even if it's sliding forward. Like, it can cop that damage, prevent you from clearing out the creep waves as smoothly. Right-click damage of the NP is pretty damn nice as well with the swing animation, and he does have the slight range advantage, so it's easier for Mobe to control the lane, easier for him to poke, and Emo does not have many tools to play with. It's going to be a little bit slower in terms of trying to pressure Mobe, but he is playing the lane right. He's still finding some CS. It's not high pressure yet for Mobe, but as you approach, say, level 3, level 4, it can start to be a little bit more painful here for Emo. We'll see how well he holds out. Rune control's a little bit more important for the Storm as well. Taking a gander at that bot lane. Do you have Fly onto Terrorblade once again with Ollie in the Silencer up against Sibe and Desire. And this is a pretty sick lane for AVULUS, right? You land a Hoof Stomp, you get a dead shot, you get the Calling on top. Can be quite a fair bit of damage coming in. You do not have that added damage on the double edge here, as you did go for Horsepower as your facet. So it can be a little bit harder to look for the burst place, but you shouldn't be fully zoned out by Fly. Whenever Metamorphosis is up, though, that is a pretty painful time for the Centaur. Melee matchup is just rough, but you're durable enough to at least hold your own here for good old Sibe.
Absolutely, and of course top lane, Smiling Knight going to be there with Fly, and you're going to have Baboka and Beyond going at it against these two. Of course, Smiling Knight going to be pretty careful early on. Like, your mana pool's already low enough as it is. A lot of kill potential here at this top lane with Baboka and Beyond, especially because you can set up decently for a skill back play for Baboka with the Burrow Strike setup. So Smiling Knight probably does have to play a little bit, a little bit further back in this style of lane. I would say the same for Fly, John, but he probably doesn't have much choice in the matter. He's playing CM.
Yeah, as swift as wherever her wolves are from in Ice Rack. Not the fastest wolves in the world. You are buying enough space for Smiling Knight, though. And I do appreciate, again, Baboka going for that Shockwave facet, the diminishing return. It's actually so painful for supports. It's just a good amount of damage early on. Some good poke. Some good utility to try to line up for some skewer backs. And that could be the openings they get here later on this Magnus support. Baboka just trying to pull where he can. Make the lane as passive as possible for Beyond to just find that farm. Find that EXP. Same thing goes for Baboka, of course, to get his own EXP flowing. And so far, so good. A little bit slower for Beyond in terms of pure CS, but Smiling Knight, you're probably just not going to be looking to catch him out anytime soon anyhow, with the protection coming out from Fly. Pretty silent here in the laning phase so far. Down mid, Emo is still having a bit of a better time. He's managing to utilize the static remnant quite nicely. A little bit surprised that Mobe isn't able to pressure as much as you'd expect. But Emo's making this work. 21-3 compared to the 17-5 in CS there from Mobe. And just having a great hold on mid, which is what you want as a Storm. You want a stable start, you want that build-up, you want fast power treads with maybe the Kaya coming through, and rune control on top of that. 4-minute rune's going to be the important one, and it doesn't look like any bodies are coming out from AVULUS, so Emo should be able to secure at least one.
Bottom lane, a lot of harassment being dealt. Zibe is going to step in and ensure that Fly cannot intervene. The Desire is still going to make it out, but Creep Pool going to cost him a lot of HP, and Ollie's not going to make it easy for him. Nice little dead shot though from Desire, going to allow the salve usage for himself, and I'm sure he does remain pretty safe. Bottom lane has been pretty okay as well. Like, Zibe's finding plenty of farm here on the Centaur. Obviously, Fly is not doing too much in the way of slowing him down. You don't really mind that either as YB. You know, the Yakult brothers, as long as they're seeing Fly hit creeps, they're pretty happy too.
Yeah. And then every single time...
Oh, but Boca, he got pretty close to dying that time around, but he does get the skew wrap.
I mean, you have to respect some of that damage coming in. You've got level 3 on Fly. He's got the Frostbite with the Crystal Nova. A good amount of slows to play with. And again, some decent follow-through with the value point, the Gorgon's Grasp being up from Smiling Knight. So there is some hold that can tie together here on the side of AVULUS. Voco will at least get the stack on the way back, not wasting his time on the retreat, building resources up for his team. It's a little ways off from that 7-minute Shrine of Wisdom, but 6-minute runes are coming in. I'm curious to see if Voco will want to set his eyes towards mid and try to help secure there to set Emo up for a faster start.
Speaking of Emo, well, you're approaching that 6-minute power rune timing, but Boca's going to TP in. Fly's going to be around as well on the CM. See, a very important rune for Emo to try and secure. Not so much for Mobe, but you are looking to deny it off as best as possible, and these prophets can be very annoying with these power rune timings, because of course they can just send the train in to try and deny it. Seems like Emo did come out on top of the CS board as well, compared to Mobe, but it is getting at the stage where he's having a little bit more difficulty trying to CS against him as Emo. Not going to get lucky with the power rune. Wouldn't have mattered anyway because the dead shot did land. Looks like Fly just taking the illusion rune for himself, so probably the worst rune you could have asked for anyway.
Not the ideal. I mean, you still have an empty bottle for Emo. At least he did pop up with Bounty earlier, so he has mana to play the lane. And he does have his level 6. Catching out the Storm now is going to be a little bit of a process for the side of AVULUS. And they're just going to focus in. One big strength, of course, for Mobe is that he can just play more in the jungle, start to clear out some space. Maybe a support starts to soak up mid, although no one's doing that yet. From the side of AVULUS, the side of Yakult brothers, again, they have some good stacks built up. Boboka's been very on point with just working the map. Stacks are constantly being cleared out as well instantly by Beyond. So he has himself a very fast Vanguard to play with, to be secure in that lane. And the 7-minute Shrines of Wisdom as well, no contest. So it's going to be an even trade for both sides. No one in an aggressive spot. A very quiet game here, Mikey. No kills at 7 minutes in. Nice and stable for both sides.
Stable's one way to put it. No action across the map whatsoever. It's a very nice way to put it, John. No action whatsoever here between these two sides. Just a lot of farm going mostly to, I want to say, Yakult brothers, but it seems like Mobe's had a really nice time on that Prophet. Obviously at the stage now where he's just jungling with the trains as well. Going for the standard Maelstrom build-up as well here on the Prophet, so not really anything unexpected being queued up yet. Yeah, probably going to go into the Mjolnir as well against Fly. Nobody interested in fighting. Absolutely nobody interested. Everyone just stealing creeps away from each other. Almost 8 minutes in. We are going to have another power rune spawning, but it seems like this time they're just going to let Emo have it. Because nobody's here.
It almost makes you wonder, Mikey, are we in a Southeast Asia match? It looks very reminiscent of some of our CE qualifiers recently. Amp damage rune for Emo, at least. Could lead to some excitement. Who knows? Probably not. Considering the trends, a little bit of a clump up bot, that could lead to something. Perhaps. They are planting some forward wards. Probably not diving behind tier 1s at this point, of course. But they are setting up for it with Fly in position. issue is Fly is fairly tanky. He has the value point left for Sunder, not picking it up yet. So yeah, not quite the target. Maybe mid, working your way towards Emo, who again has level 6. Chances are he's not going to be caught in your trap. And you just farm away. When it comes down to the farm game, like you've been saying, Mikey, Yakult Brothers, they're edging out a little bit more. And I would say this is pretty fine for Yakult Brothers overall. Like, they do a lot with early farm. Like, beyond having maybe a quicker blink up, gonna lead to some issues here that AVULUS might not be ready to face up against. Emo with a fast Kaya, for example, could also start to just do a lot more with his mana pool, do a lot more damage as well. And Fly has just not been contested. You could argue the same with Dedusa not being touched here for Smiling Knight, but the Terrorblade does have more raw output early on in the game. And AVULUS might want to try to rectify that. They get the smoke, they get the scan. The tier 1 still stands in the way, so trying to find Fly could be a bit of an issue.
They come. They're still looking for Ollie down bottom. Fly will reveal himself once again. You're trying this into the tier 1 tower. Like, there's plenty of time for rotations, especially from Emo, who's actually just TPing right now. Emo's just come in, seen the easiest kill of his life, says thank you very much. That'll be first blood to the Storm. And obviously it's worth the rotation, John, because he gets the bonus gold from the first blood. Bit of galvanized stacks on top. You're laughing if you're Emo.
Yeah, I'm so curious as to what led him to get that long wrap. I know they've been antsy for a kill. I mean, those two supports have been walking back and forth between mid and bot for at least 2 minutes at that point. But with a tier 1 in the way, with your center playing the lane, it was just a very hazy kill to find. And the Yakult Brothers are on top. I mean, you're still getting free farm here. Very fast free farm from Smiling Knight. Of course, as the safe lane, you've got the points up in split shot. The jungle is very kind to Ardusa full. Yasha already up and running. So you do have that to bank on. Like, Smiling Knight is having the freest game of his life.
Fly gonna survive this one. Emo's got an arcane rune active for a while. Desire's gonna show up now with the calling, but doesn't really land the silence, so Emo easily able to just zip out of there. Even gets another rune for himself. That'll be the water rune this time around. And it seems like Fly, sticking around here trying to get some stacks, may have cost himself his own life as he does go down once again. And Emo still has the arcane rune going, John. He's probably just going to farm up the stack while he's here.
Yeah, no problems here. Good old Emo. At least Citrian comes in to try to contest, but not really much you can do about that. Large camp taken away. And 2 kills up for Yakult Brothers in a relatively slow game. It's going to do wonders for Emo. Top of net worth now with those pickoffs. Kaya flying out. So his timing's fully there. You've gotten a lot of room for Beyond to just play jungle and lane up top. Working to a very quick Crimson Guard, which is just going to negate any presence from Smiling Light for a long time. Right? Like, even with Manta, your damage has really just not been doing much of that barrier and the damage block. By the time you have Butterfly, it could start to do a little bit more, but that will just relegate your Dusa to farming for what? An additional maybe 5 to 10 minutes in that time range, depending on how well he is efficient in the map. Yakult Brothers, for their part, we're inching to the point where you should start to expect more activity, right? Like, Emo's been showing that he wants to start to get these kills. Fly could start to consider a little bit of a join in with just the Yasha, at least for a siege opportunity on either the mid or the bot, with his team flanking in, perhaps. And you're also playing into the favor of having this support Magnus. Baboka, he's been free to farm while the jungle's being taken by Beyond. He's only about 570 gold away from the full blink on our support Magnus. Has the RP on standby. So, a lot of things going nicely for Yakult Brothers. This slower game plays into their hand.
Is it forward? Emo, he's got somebody mid lane. Fly again. Gonna get caught. The thing is with these storm kills as well, like, you're not just giving gold and XP, you are giving galvanized stacks over, which is just gonna make Emo's life that much easier. You can't underestimate, you know, how much it can provide for this hero. Again, though, Emo's just having a fantastic game. 3 kills his way. In fact, he's got all the kills on the map right now. And as far as AVULUS goes, they're just allowing space for Smiling Knight and Mobay.
They are. And that investment is lining up. Mobay already has a Maelstrom. They're getting some space out as well for Sibet to get into Blade Mail. Already has his own Vanguard up. But I just worry about what you're allowing Yakult Predators to do. Right? Like, this blink timing for Boboka is going to be scary on a support Magnus free farming. Beyond has the Crimson Guard. So if you will join in these fights with Smiling Knight, there's going to be no damage. Like, straight up, there's just nothing to be done. Still,
Rain, they're trying for Emo, but they just don't have the follow-up damage here. Emo, gonna force him to stampede away. I mean, Ollie TP'd in, but he didn't even have mana to really commit after that global silence. It just, nothing really happens from here. Nothing's panning out as Beyond just jumps in casually for a quick kill onto Desire. Doesn't quite get it yet. Emo might just zip right through him if he wants, and in fact he does. In fact, he found Fly as well to make matters even better for him. A 2-for-1 special for Emo, who still has all the kills on the map.
jeez.
Can he keep it up? Yes, no he can't. Beyond took one.
Oh, Beyond.
Well, why'd you do that, Beyond? Anyway,
I guess he got.
he's having a
getting
great
little
time
bit
on this
bored.
storm.
That he is. 12 galvanized stacks up, plus 12.12 permanent manager regen, along with the galvanized bonuses as well. Now you have that blink up in Boboka. I don't know what you are expecting here in AVULUS. Again, the farm game is going good, but this is too much ground to give away. Like, they are getting aggressive on Yakult Predators. They are hitting these early timings. And your own team fight is kind of stuck, reliant on just a good blink angle out from Sibe. There's no damage.
Invitation from
Like, the right click,
yeah,
Smiling Knight just does nothing.
No,
That's without the active guard. And that's without popping the actual barrier, which gives you even more block. Like, I don't know. I do not know. Even the damage on Mobe, it's not going to be amazing. He's going to be relying on proccing the Maelstrom at this point. Ollie gets frisky. Gets tossed by Roche.
He does. Meanwhile, Desire, just leave him in the desert. Let the sand do the work. And why are they hanging around Roshan pit like they're about to do it? They're not doing Roshan. Get away from there. Get out of there, boy. What are you doing?
Flyfly's coming in. They actually are. They've had enough.
Okay,
I mean, look,
Roshan.
if the game is this slow, you might as well. You might as well, because what threats are there? Mobe's not really shoving lanes out. Sibe is actually taking lane with Smiling Knight top. There's no threats onto your objectives. You've got the Metamorphosis. You've got some damage coming in. It's more than enough. And the side of AVULUS just do not want to play. So if they're not going to play, take everything on the map. 7-0 start. Take the Aegis. Have that secondary backup for Emo so early in the game. Already has an Orchid to keep eating Fly up. He's just going to be feeding off of that CM or even just this Muerta at this point. And there's no worries. The 2K lead, 2K, 3K lead at 16 minutes in. Not the biggest in the world, right? It's still playable for AVULUS.
Smiling Knight and Emo, he doesn't care because he found Fly. Emo couldn't give a crap about Smiling Knight. They needed you, Emo. Emo, they could have used that Vortex soon. They could have used that.
No. He has to kill the CM. Contractual obligations, Michael Phoenix. For anyone that... The social contract, when you pick Storm and you see a Crystal Maiden, she must die. It's as written in our social contract. You know?
He's still... Emo's still living at Singapore Major where they were question marking EG. He's still getting Fly. It's like, remember that question mark I did to you?
Oh, yeah. He just wants a reminder. A little bit of a reminder out from AVULUS as well. They're smoked up. Again, they've got that Blink and Sibe. 2 supports with a Centaur. Issue is, who do you make a move on? Like, even the Magnus, if you find that kill, doesn't feel that great. You want some of these cores to start getting punished, but you're not really finding them. And, I mean, they're still a lot trying. They've done this a couple of times, AVULUS, where they force out the smoke. Let's see if it pans out here.
And they're coming. Baboka, he's a pos 4. Oh, no. I mean, you kind of saw, and Baboka says it. Are you kidding? Like, you saw that coming. Freezing field from Fly. At least they are going to get a couple stacks for themselves, so it's not all lost. But Baboka's casually waiting now. Has the blink back up, and check this out, John. There you go.
Yeah.
Why can I tell that's coming? Fly gets Burrow striked up. He's going to die. Meanwhile, Sipe's down, and so is Desire. John, if I can tell you what's about to happen, there's some problems, I promise you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I don't know what AVULUS is expecting differently. And again, this is something that happened even earlier on. That forced smoke behind the tier 1, trying to catch Fly when their centaur when Siba was just looking to farm the lane. Now this forced smoke when they had some forward vision, not the best catch either, unless you managed to jump in with that CM first. You're seeing how all of it went wrong. Beautiful quick reactions. And Hoof Stomp is just not quick enough. It's just not quick enough.
Is he trapped with you, Smiling Knight, or are you trapped with him? Baboka cannot believe he's alone. Baboka goes for a quick skew around. Beyond's come now. Like, is he really alone? Emo, he's gonna check. Realizes actually he is kind of alone. He's really alone, in fact. And by alone, I mean surrounded by the enemy team, but not his own. I didn't mean for that to rhyme either, John.
I mean, you're spitting balls here, Mike. You are. You've got lines.
I'm a poet, John.
I know what I'm saying.
Modern day poet.
You're like Shakespeare, right? And give us some stories.
He wasn't a poet, John. He was a playmaker.
Look, all of them are the same to me. I studied them too. That makes it even sadder. My brain's frying. Don't make me go into philosophy at some point, Mike. We don't want that. You don't.
But every time I talk about philosophy, you get upset. You get upset every time I bring up philosophy.
Because you're all in on stoicism.
No, I'm not.
Stoicism?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
You just think I am because I'm so stoic. That's the problem. You just can't comprehend. Your mind can't comprehend how I could be so stoic in front of you all the time.
No, I can comprehend why, Mike. I can list a number of reasons why you do this. Alrighty?
Why?
I understand.
Maybe what?
It's coping. It's coping. It's coping, Mike. It's a coping mechanism. I know.
You're not far off, John. You're not too damn far off.
I mean, you could be stoic in this game as well if you're AVULUS to cope. That it's 12-0. That you're 8K behind.
In this game, John. You've got to be stoic if you're AVULUS.
You could be a nihilist. You're like, nothing matters. To be fair, this actually doesn't matter for AVULUS as well. So they could also be nihilists. You know? They could be.
Although, on the bright side, at least they're not, losing to Boom and Shopify, John. Otherwise, they'd have nobody left to lose to here, AVULUS.
That is going to be a memeable line. That has to be for the books here as Desire goes away. Or as a certain song goes, Desire gets in the way. That's a good song by American Football. Check it out. A good song by American Football. From the album American Football. Really good. Give it a listen. The second album of American Football called American Football. They also have a third album called American Football. I'm not even joking.
No way.
All their albums are just named American Football. Or to be more accurate, it's like American Football.
Okay. I see the pun. I saw the wordplay there, John. Very well done. What? Yakult brothers. Smiling Knight. Can we offer you a Yakult, sir? You look thirsty. Have you taken your probiotics?
I can use some.
They're looking at him, John. They won't go for him. They didn't see him, I don't think. Smiling Knight. He's going to move in. He's got backup, though. This could be a bit of bait here from Smiling Knight. More backup incoming. Emo still thinking about it. Sees a power rune. We'll take that instead. Meanwhile, Fly just went through the top tier 2 tower. I mean, you may as well just keep going at this rate because nobody's there to defend top. He'll back off though.
I like this as well. Fly is going for that diffusal we were talking about. So he does want to be a little bit of an answer for Smiling Knight. He will be. Issue is, well, yeah, Smiling Knight didn't go for the butterfly. He's going for the Ags. Emo again can't believe Smiling Knight's alone.
Yeah, no, he can't. Stone Gaze. Emo turns his back because cool guys do not look at Medusa. And here we go. Stampede, does it really help against the Storm? Well, it allows his teammates to get close now, so maybe they can force a fight their way. Emo's pretty low on mana, but there's your RP. Baboka found both of them. Oh, and they just get destroyed by Beyond. Fly's in. Mobay, look at the damage he's dealing already. Fly, he hit him once and Mobay lost 1/5 of his HP. Zibe is somehow alive. Actually gets the blink out.
Awesome.
No, they haven't yet, John. They're there. They see him. Target acquired. Come on, boys.
Oh, there you go.
It lands. Beautiful for Beyond.
That took a little bit of effort, but they do clean up. This is getting depressing. 16-0, 10k. I don't know what to say. You know, I tried in the last series. It was feasible because they had some kills. There was a glimmer of hope. All I see is despair. All I can think of is calling a psychiatrist, perhaps. Maybe they need some help. Why? It's a little bit rough right now. They could be down, Mike. Just because they have, you know, emotionless faces doesn't mean they're doing well.
Well, a psychiatrist diagnoses mental health issues. A psychologist is the one you speak to.
I don't know. They're both the same thing to me. Somewhat useless.
You see, John?
For me, yes,
the
I don't know.
Psychologist is like the psychiatrist that failed in school.
Which one's the doctor?
You know?
Which one's the doctor? Which one's
well,
that's always
psychiatrist
confusing.
is like a... I think psychiatrist is considered like the specialist doctor, and psychologist is like, you know, a better counselor. Sorry to any psychologists out there.
I don't know. That's the thing that always confuses me. I don't know which is which. You know, it's like, I don't know. You know my English is terrible. That distinction doesn't really work for me.
We both have mental health issues, John. It doesn't really matter at this point. It doesn't.
We have
matter.
a lot of issues, Mike.
We have a lot of issues. No one's helping us, John. Don't worry about it. Nobody's coming to help. Top lane. Uh-oh. Nobody's helping Mobe either here, John, I don't think, as Baboka will just lock him down and Emo's just staring at him.
Yeah.
And Beyond will come in and take the kill.
What did you expect?
And he does. Cleans up. You know, every time I see Beyond's name, I think of a movie, Mike. I think of, you know, the movie Click, Adam Sandler,
Yes.
classic.
It was a good movie. Good movie.
Yeah, you know where that film technically takes place in?
Where?
Bed, Bat, and Beyond. Yeah, every time I see Beyond, I think of that.
Beyond?
Oh, they got a kill!
Baboka. They got a kill. They got a kill, John. Big news here for AVULUS. They are on to the Centaur now. Emo wants a bit of revenge here, though. A nice TP away from Zibe, but it's not going to matter. He's not that tanky. But they've got a kill. It's 18-1. They're not scoreless. They're not maidenless here, Jonathan.
No.
They're one.
They're one. Not the biggest one, mind you, but you'll take what you can get.
It's a big one. It's a one.
Considering they actually gained a little bit of gold, only in deficit for 100 in that trade. So you're happy enough to trade that way for the side of AVULUS. You're not happy to trade out to your trees. Why is trying to slow this down as much as possible, but that's a level 18 Terrorblade and level 11, level 12 now, Mr. Maiden. So good luck.
Yeah, fly closer. I'm sure that'll work out for you, sir. Emo. There's no defense here. Like, there's nothing to do. Like, there's nothing to do for AVULUS. I'm not blaming Fly. Like, he's just trying to make them back a little bit, you know? There's nothing.
Yeah. They're trying to stall. Oh, nothing to do. You know, that reminds you of a line from a song that I really enjoy.
I thought you were going to refer
classic.
to Nothing to Say, John.
No. There's a good song
Roshan?
that
You
I'm
wanna sing
sure
it while
AVULUS...
Roshan's happening, John?
No, I'm not going to sing it, but the line is literally nothing to say when there's nothing to do. And that's from PDA by Interpol. Really great song. Maybe AVULUS can jam out to it as they try here.
I doubt they've ever heard that band, John. Emo.
It's a great band.
Zip forward. Found nobody so far. Meanwhile, Desire gonna just walk away. Global Silence has been committed now in RP, but Boca right on the end, landing on a couple. They're still trying to fight, but there's no damage really being dealt here to Yakult brothers. Their stomach flora, Jonathan, it's too powerful. It's too strong. Look at this. This is what Yakult does to you, ladies and gentlemen. Drink your probiotics.
And you should. They're online, the Yakult brothers. 22-1. If we could just give 2 kills away here. I mean, just to be dank. Yakult brothers. You know, that would be something. We'll see if AVULUS managed to find the 2 kills necessary for tradition. Roshan is just going to be finished up here on the side of YB. But yeah, Interpol, great band. PDA, probably one thing. In fact, that entire album is so good, Mickey. Which one was it? Here Comes the Bright Lights is a great album. Was it? Is that the title? I don't know. They're one of the weird bands that also does untitled stuff. So, you know, good stuff. You know they're good when they don't title their songs. Right?
Oh my.
Wow.
Emo.
Across the map. Okay.
Across the map, John. I mean, he's 10-0-10. He's got 28 galvanized stacks, so his mana regen's pretty damn good at the moment. And quite frankly, John, there's literally nobody that can contest him. Maybe Smiling Light can tank his damage. I don't think anyone else can really do anything about Emo this game.
No. They really can't. The one blessing is that, well, I mean, Emo has a BKB, but at least it's down to 7 seconds. It gets super difficult for them to catch in. Again, it's maybe a little bit down to just your support choices. I mean, on paper, this isn't bad. It just doesn't feel like you've had anyone to launch off of. With that NP mid for Mobe, you expected some early activity, never really came out. The lane matchup was way too favorable coming out there for Emo as Baboka spots out.
He does, and he's found himself a lovely target in Mobe. This is becoming target practice for Yakult brothers, I'll tell you what, John. This is literally just a duck hunt at this point for Yakult.
And it is. Almost like whack-a-mole. They see something, they just throw the hammer down. RP onto one doesn't matter for Baboka, as they're just finding everything. He's basically like a core Magnus now. Kaya flying out, going for the Yasha Kaya, added cast point, and feels good. 17k lead with 24 kills on Yakult Brothers. No memes here. Emo's soloing Smiling Knight somehow.
Well, he's going to be a bit careful here because he can't really take the Medusa. Emo. Being annoying, he does have the Aegis anyways. Oh, now they find the TP cancel for Smiling Knight, and well, now it doesn't really matter. I mean, Emo, truthfully, was never going to die. He had the Aegis anyway. He was fine the whole time.
He was. And he does manage to bait out that Stone Gaze. That's just beautiful out from the side of Yakult Brothers. Mind you, they still have their tier 1 top, so easy enough to just follow through here. 25-1. I mean, I appreciate that AVULUS are... And they see something that can still happen. They certainly see something. And that they're not, you know, calling it yet. They're holding out, but I'm having a hard time seeing what they're seeing here, Mike. I'll be frank.
Yeah, zip in, fly, targeted again here by Emo. Literally cannot survive. If he's shown on the map, Zemo, unrelenting towards his Crystal Maiden. Ooh, nice skewer back, but Baboka found the primary target in Mobe, and the Sky and everything else is going to make it so he just can't survive. Gentlemen, it might be time to drop those Gs. There we go. Zippe, he'll make the call. That'll be game 1 going to Yakult Brothers in a rather dominant fashion.
And it is 28-1, 24k advantage for YB to close out at 31.5.
AVULUS have already been eliminated. You know, Yakult Brothers, they have a bit of placement to play for, I guess. You know, maybe they can place a little bit higher if they pull off this game 2 victory. I highly doubt they're going to be taking it easy anyway. It seems like Yakult Brothers certainly coming into this DreamLeague Season 26 with something to prove. Because I'll tell you what, John, I wasn't expecting this kind of performance from this side. But they have pleasantly surprised me.
That they have. They've been, again, day 1 was a little bit more back and forth, but it has stayed steady. And we've just seen increments of improvement over and over again. We heard from our interview last time, of course, from Emo that, you know, they didn't have high expectations coming in. The roster just formed. They've still been adjusting to each other, but it has looked pretty damn good. If this is just how they start, how much stronger they get does get me pretty excited for what they can show off if they manage to move forward, which, you know, they are locked in for at least group stage 2. And we'll see a little bit of a smoke out from the side of the Yakult Brothers, but not really panning out too much. I love the nice early block coming out here from AVULUS in the sneaky spot, at least preventing that rapid build-up from the offlane with the Coddle on hand. Always a smart move to force the Coddle to have to waste the D-ward on that.
Bounty runes to fight over. Looks like it's going to end up in a 3-for-1 trade in the favor of Yakult Brothers anyway. So AVULUS don't miss out on one. Fly able to at least get something for his time. Go to this mid lane. You've got a Viper. against the Slaughter matchup, Jonathan. I can't remember the last time you and I had to cast one of these. Obviously, Emo should be having a pretty bad time, right?
And he is. Yeah, I mean, he's not going to be able to out-regen. They did touch up the values on the Seaborn Sentinel. Be a little bit better, but they're still not going to out-regen Poison Tech. Mobe should be fine in just trading hits. Emo is much more focused on trying to harass back, but still respect that.
No, there's no way. There's no way. Really? Emo!
Okay. All right.
You can't do that, Emo. You can't do that.
Then he just takes a casual sip out of his juice.
He's so
it's like,
ballsy,
yeah.
this guy, I tell you. He's so ballsy. I love it. I love Emo. If he sees it, he goes for it.
I mean, to be fair, I think it's a smart move from Emo. He was out of mana, right? He just kept spamming out Slytherin Crush. He knows that's how he has to play the lane. Doesn't have mana, so like, all right, just head back. It's fine. Reset. I'm going to lose this lane anyhow. Desire does manage to find a clean kill onto Ollie, which is a really good snipe. Nice. Again, the power of that Starstorm is just insane with Starstruck.
It's a lot of damage. It's a lot of damage. Zipe, not enjoying himself up the top lane either, copying a bit of harassment on the way out, but he's alright. Of course, Fly currently uncontested on the TA, which is something you kind of expect. How's bottom been going as well? I mean, Smiling Knight's been taking a fair bit of harassment as well, but he's against Pango Coddle, so yeah, it's kind of expected. Fly can only do so much in this lane. Can still be pretty annoying, but I just feel like nobody really beats Coddle at the moment. It's just got this ridiculous base movement speed. It's great range, and here we go. Fly's being chased. He'll be okay. Somehow I've only just realized that we have Fly and Fly in this series.
You're right. I guess it's because they don't lane against each other that we never have to point it out. And because, well, the last game was just Fly dying to Emo. That Fly never got to interact with his fellow Fly. Maybe this time around, if it goes better, you know, that could end up happening. Emo again putting pressure onto Mobe. Is he diving again?
Yes, he is. And he's got it this time. All right, Emo. I mean, this man, is he just denying himself now? Or nah, he's all right. He's going to wait around. But this is a Viper losing to a Slaughter deck. Not something you see every day.
No, you certainly don't. Emo, I mean, he might even be able to steal something like a bounty away. Although it does look like they've not yet come into position. Fly is going to be walking up, and yeah, no, doesn't quite spawn yet anyhow. But yeah, this is not a good sign for Moby. You picked this to crush this lane. You're not crushing this lane in the Viper. He was finding a ton of value out.
What's he doing now, though? So now he's not in the lane. Gets his boots. Well, you can't lane anymore, right? Like, you've got to reset. So what's his idea now? What are you going to do, Emo? You're not playing pos 4, Emo. This isn't support, Emo. You can't do that. Where are you going? Well, I've got to see what he's up to. Well, what's he doing? Here comes Fly to cut him off. He's pulling the creep wave, loses the creep wave, in fact, runs the other way. Emo, you're the mid laner, sir. You can't do All right, he's TP. He's good. To the mid lane, by the way. He's not resetting.
No, you got water room, though. You got the top up. I thought he was gunning for the bounty, but Fly showing up, not able to gun for it, didn't want to risk it. Only finds the one. He's still not too far off from the EXP of Mobe, so I guess that's worthwhile for whatever it achieved for Emo, showing the wave out just a tad bit more. So that's something. I mean, he's having fun at the very least here, good old Emo. The rest of AVULUS, again, they're having a better showing in this game. 2-1 start. They're finding some punishment. Their lanes are going a lot better as well. I mean, again, for all of that time, Emo wastes despite the kills. Mobe is now starting to rack up the CS. Same thing for Smiling Knight. There is pressure from Baboka and beyond as they rotate Ollie in as well to try to look for something here.
Fly. We'll go for a run. Baboka on the chase. And Emo is going to cut him off. That should be Fly going down, trying to make it hard with the Nightmare. We'll do so. is taken though. The Boca running right towards Roshan Pit. Another nice kill for Emo. And he's still keeping up on level parity with this Viper. Like, Mobay is going to hit level 6 first, because he's just been sitting in the lane hitting creeps. But Emo is playing this this weird mobile Slaughter mid lane that's actually kind of been working out as top lane. They are currently chasing Zive. Flyfly has a sentry ward for himself this time. Needs a meld strike to really hope for this kill, but Fly is there with the Nightmare, and now Desire's going to show up as well. They'll try to chase down the TA, and Flyfly looks like he's gone too far. He will get punished. Meanwhile, mid though, are they going to kill this Viper? It looks like the answer's probably yes, as Mobay can't survive the onslaught that came in.
They put all of that pressure after seeing the rotations up top. Bigger trade coming out there for AVULUS for sure. Slowing down Flyfly is massive. But losing Mobay, giving Emo this extra EXP now to play into that 6, does cause some concerns here. As the Slaughter, again, with all of that moving around Emo he did miss out a lot in the creeps. Network is equalizing off of these pickoffs. Slaughter is keeping up in that build-up as well. Power Thread's not too far off. Could be the Echo Saber build-up here as well. If not, maybe an Orchid to help hold.
Looks like they'll find Beyond. Beyond unable to get away from Smiling Knights. A very nice setup there from Fly and Smiling Knight. And of course, Rush for the Shrine of Wisdom. But top lane, they are also looking at Desire here in this Mirana. And Desire does eventually die. Zibe sticking around to try and fight for this Shrine of Wisdom, as now Mobay's going to show up, going onto the Keeper of the Light. But Baboka's a very fast man on a very fast horse. He will outrun the Viper. And now Zibe, who's stuck around, is going to die.
A little bit of a mess. And they did have some interesting angles. A very early committal from the Viper strike from Mobay. Just not enough output. Doesn't even have the double Wraith Band that we sometimes see on Viper. No Dragon Lancers yet, no Power Treads as well. So Baboka's actually relatively secure. He's been very smart with blinding light usage as well. And that is giving him enough space to just weave in and out. 4-5 start. Again, not a dominating lead here for Yakult Brothers early on, but they are finding some tempo that they'd like. Still better signs of life from the side of AVULUS. Core parity is somewhat equal across the board. Flyfly and Smiling Knight matching each other. Mobay and Emo on the same page, along with Zibe and Beyond. So no one's finding too much just yet. And that does improve the chances here for the side of AVULUS. Already a much better game 2. I mean, game 1, they only had 1 kill. They've got 4 to YB's 5. You're doing better. You got the amp damage rune up on Emo though. He's going to be looking for a play relatively soon. And you have to remember as well, we're waiting for like a level 6 timing on Baboka. Once he finds that recall up, you should expect action all across the map. And these spells, with a chakra to back them up, are really easy to spam out.
Casey on to Desire now. Glimpse back. Desire has 1 leap charge left. Will commit it. Mobay is going to be there to force them back as well. So nice little escape here for Desire. They're still looking to pressure perhaps a little bit of that mid-tier 1 tower. Fly's having a look to see if he can find a Nightmare angle on anybody. But there's a lot of heroes here. They're ready for it too. They want to go after Mobay. Ollie's looking for a glimpse back and does find it. And now Beyond will just TP in for the easiest kill of their life. It just happens that quick. And now Desire's gone a boot to make matters worse. Hell, even Zipe's dropping low and he's not even being targeted by a hero. He's alright though. He's fine.
He does manage to scuttle his way out, at the very least. 4-7 start now. That aggression on mid not panning out the way AVULUS would want. I do appreciate that movement from Fly, trying to use the nighttime to his advantage, sneaking around the tree line, but the Yakult Brothers are just ready. It's down to this draft. Again, it's super high tempo. They've got a lot of damage. They're so durable as well. You do not have the burst damage to deal with the Pangolier and the Slaughter just yet. And you become so squishy. None of your heroes are high armor except for the Terrorblade here.
Obey. You can't TP into a Disruptor, Obey. It's alright, we all do it. It happens, we've all done it. I'll probably do it next time too.
It's always on that first time. You're like, right, Disruptor. You try not to do it again. Yeah, it's just a reminder, you know, not too bad, Mobe. Just as long as he remembers it next, it should be smooth going. And again, the game is still relatively alright here for AVULUS. You're getting that build-up you'd want in Smiling Knight. He has a solo lane for himself. Manta-style timing shouldn't be too far off. For Fly though, he's already one out of the 3 items in for what we tend to see from the TAs. Dragonlance up, and very close to the first Mithril Hammer for that Desolator. And with 2 out of 3, that's when you should expect that TA to, again, join the team, look for a team fight, go into Rosha or Tormentor by that timing. And you pile that on with the minus armor you're getting from Corrosive Haze, these targets will melt. Even the Terrorblade's not going to feel that tanky if Smiling Knight's not too careful with all of these debuffs on hand.
Beyond. Retreat out of here. Smiling Knight looking a little bit too intimidating right now. Flyfly has been very quiet on the map, but of course he's just been free farming on this TA this whole time. Having a great old time as well, just still slightly ahead of this TB. Smiling Knight, of course, keeping up pretty well in terms of the net worth, as they are going to go for a quick Nightmare on to Beyond, and Beyond just gets destroyed here by Smiling Knight and Desire. There is a smoke rotation though coming. Emo's got to blink up now on the Slaughter, so wants to go for a quick reveal. But seeing that Beyond's just died, they might not want to necessarily jump in like this, though it seems like Emo's just going anyway. Jump in, Static Storm drop, glimpse back even, but nothing holding Smiling Knight in, so he gets the stun drop in time, but Boca the one to die. Emo still gets the kill before he does have to leave, but they're going in fact for Fly now. Fly gets the Moonlight Shadow, but the Corrosive Haze is giving plenty of vision, so Fly gonna die to Fly. And the chase continues as Ollie now looking for a glimpse back onto Desire. Doesn't have the vision on him though. Meanwhile, Emo getting Viper Strike here by Mobe. Desire will jump back in. Emo though proving to be pretty tanky. Will somewhat walk out, but does finally go down. But now Mobe's gone. A triple kill for Fly, and now they want more. Zippe, Burrow Strike, it's going to be channeled. He'll jump in onto Ollie of all people, but Ollie has the electromagnetic repulsion. So Zippe doesn't actually get the kill onto him either. Here comes Smiling Knight now, trying for Beyond, but everyone's ignoring Fly. Even the Croaker's getting involved now. You gotta watch out for these guys. They're pretty scary. Smiling Knight, probably regretting his choice to come here.
Oh, he missed the stun.
He missed the stun.
What is happening?
Oh, not much right now for AVULUS, John, as Smiling Knight glimpse back right into the loving arms of, I don't know who. Mobe's here now again. They're just still going for this fight. Mobe,
oh my God.
Emo, not going to go for the man fight, looking to run off, and Emo will die. Well, what the hell happened, John? Ollie's still
yeah, you know what it is? It's 30 minutes in, Ollie. Ollie? Okay.
He's dead.
What it is that we're 13 minutes in. They're fighting behind the tier 1 in this forward jungle. And a good spot to TP back into the fight for AVULUS. And respawns are short enough, Mikey. Everyone just wants to go back in. And the relentless aggression. And you know what? That works out for AVULUS. It does give them a little bit of an edge. They managed to find some good core kills. Sure, they sacrificed Smiling Knight. They sacrificed a couple of their own cores. Mobe as well took a hit. But they put a stop to that aggression. If that was an outright win for Yakult Brothers, you would be in dire straits now for AVULUS. They keep things even. They get that scaling. And the timing was slightly off for Yakult Brothers. The Desolator wasn't done on Fly yet at that point. So he doesn't get the bonus charges. He doesn't have that additional minus armor with the Corrosive Haze. Would have been a very different fight if they waited the 1 or 2 minutes to take that with this full Deso up. So you can count your lucky stars on AVULUS. The Yakult Brothers were getting a little bit impatient there with Fly. Still, it gets dangerous now. If Fly finds the angle in with his fresh Deso, with the Corrosive Haze up, that's where the pain really comes in. With the Melt Strike on top, the Terrorblade's just not going to have any armor for someone who's built around his armor, conceptually built around his armor. Even the TB's going to start to take some really bad hits. You still do have some timings lining up here for the side of Yakult Brothers. Blink up on Sibe earlier on, as we've seen. Mobe as well with his own blink. And very smartly going for the Ghost Scepter early on to save him from this physical output. As they'll try for the smoke. They do have Moonlight Shadow ready to further this movement in, but might not need it.
Dump in. They're going to find Emo here on the Slaughter. Emo is going to die very quickly. A nice pickup here for AVULUS. AVULUS now looking to perhaps go for the mid-tier 1. In fact, never mind. Pings are coming towards the south, and it seems like they want to try for that Tormentor. They'll wrap through the dyad triangle. Nothing to come out of this, though. Maybe some pressure onto the bottom tier 1 from Smiling Knight. So even with the emo kill, it doesn't really feel like they're overly confident in trying to force anything else. It seems like they'll just accept what they get for now.
I think that's fair. They managed to get some good forward vision anyhow, so they can spot for stacks, maybe force the fight into that triangle after taking tier 1. And with a tier 1 clear, it does simplify the process of taking Tormentor. No need to worry about a really forward TP point here from the side of Yakult Brothers. They are going for a smoke out here in YB though. Trying to look for an angle, and they should know it's going to be time for Tormentor. They do have the high ground positioning though on the side of AVULUS, so this could be a tricky one. Mind you, they do have recall on hand to start to bring in more. They could just easily drag in Fly.
Oh. Jump in, Emo. He's only found Desire with that. He might get bursted down if he's not careful, but no, he's out. Fly, the one to go down first, is now Smiling Knight taking down Ollie. Mobay in the middle of nowhere, but beyond, he's even deeper. Arrow? Oh, that's a nice arrow.
Wolf.
That's a really nice arrow. Desire lining that one up perfectly. Is Fly still around and forced to fight perhaps, but no, he blinks out. Blinks directly north and gets back towards his own side of the map. And suddenly AVULUS looking like a bit of a scarier team.
Yeah, that they are. They're working together a lot better as a unit. YB is looks a little bit impatient. They're not connecting all the moving pieces together in the way you'd want them to. Emo again, a little bit alone here. Not spotted out in night vision.
Well, here comes Maboka. He had to buy out the shards, but they're going. Jump in. Emo finds one target. Smiling Knight running right into the Static Storm as well, which makes matters really bad for him. He needs a stun to target. He's not going to have one yet, but eventually still looking. Does find one onto Emo. Glimpse back now onto Smiling Knight as Fly's here with a big meld strike. Smiling Knight. Oh, they still got him. He stuck around for that cheeky Sunder, and it does cost him his life.
He managed to find some compensation here on the side of Yakult Brothers. And it's such an even game. It's surprising to see this, but it's very good news, of course, for the side of AVULUS to have something more even as they get that pick off onto Maboka top. And it's down to just how active this draft can be. Right, the Viper doesn't require too much farm. You've got the stun combinations. You can get the pick off if you can look for that initial control. With this really far-reaching arrow, plus the Nightmare combo that can come in. So you have some good answers from AVULUS in comparison to that first game. And for the Yakult Brothers, I mean, you should still be feeling confident. You've got the blink on Fly with his shard. So there's some shenanigans that start to come in. The trap vision can start to be an issue here for the side of AVULUS if you're not too careful. But they have that same ace in the hole here. The Moonlight Shadow, the smoke ganks have felt a lot more effective for the side of AVULUS overall. And the side of Yakult Brothers, well, they are still getting built up. I think at this point you might want to be a tad bit patient. A little bit of a poke out from Fly. At the very least, no arrow follow through to try to catch out Maboka this time.
Not quite. So both teams a very close game now. 51% is the win probability for Yakult Brothers, but that's about all they've got. In fact, it's 50-50 now.
Dire are scanning.
This TA still looks really strong, but there does come a point it's against the Viper or TB. It can get a little bit intimidating as time does go on. Especially if Mobay gets his hands on him and easily burn through these refraction charges. Fly, gonna find Maboka, but in fact Fly's the one to get caught out, but Emo does get Viper Strike, but he will retreat as now Fly, of course, is gonna die. Mobay also caught, not able to, oh my god, not only able to escape with all that minus armor, it's just too much damage.
Way too much. Again, this minus armor combination is just terrifying. And I like the build-up coming out here from Emo. Like, going straight for the Ags, gonna have that extra durability. You know, it is massive. That sustain that the Slaughter has once you hit that Ags timing up. Still, it's a lot of commitment.
Absolutely. The Boca. Going down now, Zibe. The thing is for AVULUS, considering how game 1 went, I think they're just more than happy to just secure any single kind of kill they can get to try and get a clear lead. Because now it seems like we are potentially looking at a Roshan attempt soon. Yakult brothers were hanging around the area, and of course they do have a TA and a Slaughter. So naturally they do want Roshan. Here they go. Stun from Emo, not going to land. Zaya, though, had nothing to really try and hold him down. Nothing like a Yule Scepter or a Rod of Atos, and Fly was not near enough to go for the Nightmare, so Emo able to just walk out casually. It's kind of scary for Yakult brothers as well, because if Fly dies a couple times, suddenly that net worth advantage he's found just plummets, and things can get pretty dire pretty quick.
If they can. Have to really watch that win condition on Fly. Mind you, the Slaughter does scale in damage. I think that's something that you can't underestimate as well. Like, after the Ags, if you manage to go for your own BKB, a Bloodthorn, or the good old Echo Saber Harpoon, Slaughter does still hit like a truck and is just very hard to clear off. You just have to be careful about getting picked off like this. I think, going back to your point here for AVULUS, just trying to do what they can to get these pickoffs, there has to be a point of resource management as well. Like, how much are you committing? Like, was it necessary to get Epicenter? At the least there wasn't a follow-up fight while Epicenter's on cooldown, so you could count that as a little bit of a, yeah, it didn't matter too much. But if you do get careless at some point, YB can punish. They'll try for a smoke on the side of AVULUS. They've got the full Ags up here in Sibe.
They're going to find Ollie very quickly here. Ollie down extremely fast. Zaya picking up another kill from Sophimus Marana. T1 tower as well. Going to be focused here by Smiling Knight, just with the illusions. Just abusing that Demon Zeal a little bit. So you can see AVULUS still ultra cautious about the way they approach these objectives. They're still paying a lot of respect to the Yakult brothers, but you know, still finding small kills here and there. Is now bottom lane. This will be a big one. Beyond would really not appreciate getting nightmared right now. Fly, though, not going to see the opening for a Nightmare or a Fiend's Grip. Going to have to leave that one be. They'll pop the Moonlight Shadow, but they've already kind of missed their opening for the Pango, so they'll have to find somebody else. Problem is, nobody else is really nearby.
Ooh.
In fact, now a 5-man smoke.
This is scary timing from YB. Ags fully done on Baboka. Ags fully done on Emo. This is a big team fight if they find the angle.
Jump in, Emo. Missing out on pretty much everything for now. They'll see Desire. Desire can still leap away, but the Meld Strike going to follow him down. The nice Nightmare going to avoid the damages. Now they just move in. Static Storm being dropped as well. And Emo dropping really low, though, is going to go down on the Slaughter. The Will-O-Wisp holding them all down, but it's not going to matter as now the Fiend's Grip comes out onto Beyond. Oh, boy. Some big losses for Yakult brothers. And now Roshan, probably the biggest loss they could watch happen as AVULUS taking it away. Fly sticking around with the rest of the squad, seeing if he can steal this Roshan. At least buying themselves time. Smiling Knight does have the Sunder ready whenever. Fly, he's going to jump in, but this is a very risky jump in from Fly.
Oh.
Very risky indeed, Jonathan.
Yeah, I did expect him to just walk up. He was doing the right thing, just playing with the traps. He's trying to poke, maybe taking the Will-O-Wisp as a time to try to go in, but gets a little bit baited. Nice take by the side of AVULUS, and they're in control of this game now.
That Burrow Strike not connect. The Boca gets out of there. Here we go. It was a messy engagement. They committed so much onto Desire, who... It wasn't even a Nightmare dodge, by the way. It was an evade. For the Marana, as Emo just getting annihilated so quickly. And you don't want to see Emo going down that quick. He's got so much net worth on himself. And of course, he is your mid laner. And here you go. Fly jumping in for what? I don't know. I don't know.
I think he thought that the Will-O-Wisp would do a little bit more, perhaps. Give him an angle in, try to kill Roche, take Aegis, and hope for the follow-up. Now they lose that tempo on the side of YB. AVULUS in control of this game. They've got the 3k lead. Yeah, Fly's still number 1 in net worth, but he's not going for anything defensive, this man. He's going for the full nullifier first before entering like a BKB. Most TA players anyway play on the edge. It's just such a massive risk into what you have here from the side of AVULUS. At least with the BKB, you force a choice out, right? And then Fly has to kind of choose, do I try to grip beyond? Do I have to grip Fly instead? Like, how do we deal with his TA and the Pangolier at the same time with their debuff immunity? It does provide a conundrum to AVULUS. We'll see if the Nullifier will allow easier kills for Fly though. That could just simplify the process of finding these pickoffs that he desperately wants. Still having that advantage on AVULUS. Another Moonlight Shadow pop. Again, they've got so much time with that Aegis. Like, one little team fight could lead to a tier 2, maybe even a tier 3 if they're feeling frisky here on the side of AVULUS. Playing it safe for now and just shoving away. They don't have forward vision, which is something that's holding them back a tad bit. So there is that the side of YB can play around. They've got the traps, they've got good ward placement to watch. They can't afford to play a little bit safer, play a little bit slower. No need to respond to AVULUS trying to shove out these waves yet.
Yakult is really sitting back now. Momenta will be taken. Fly will pick up a free chance for himself now. Spotlight starting to work onto a butterfly, whereas Fly about to, pretty close to having the full nullifier available on the TA. Fly going to show himself mid lane. He'll have Emo and the Boka nearby. But they're heading towards that Radiant Triangle now. They could think about going after Sibe. There is vision here from the Radiant side though. Emo is being watched as we speak. Whereas Yakult brothers, they were only relying on the vision of the traps that they had. And now counter smoke AVULUS. They want to make the move. You can tell that Yakult brothers are not feeling too comfortable at the moment. They want to see if they can crack this game open completely. Down towards the bottom lane. If they found Fly, it's a big kill. Fly really does not want to die like this, but he will look to just meld. He knows something's wrong.
They see the courier and the ward again.
Not the courier. Don't do it. Not the courier. Do they see it? It does connect. Arrow those towards the courier. Unlucky.
Close call. Oh, would have been the one pick off the ball. Smiling just walks up. At least there's no corrosive haste to try to kill him off. He's still fine, but he's all by himself there.
He's got Sunder and Aegis up. He's actually going to move in. Dust does connect though, so now he's been spotted. This is interesting. What's he up to here? Shenanigans. Fly's also intercepting from the west. Smoke is there from Yakult brothers, so they're going to see Fly first. The Bane is going to die this time. With the nullifier up on Fly, these Ghost Scepters not going to be quite as effective. Emo immediately rushing towards the triangle, but does end up backing off anyway, so they get a Fly kill, that's about it. Yakult brothers not really coming for anything else.
I like that they're respecting the power of AVULUS. They're not looking to play too hard into that Aegis. Just find freebies, stall out the Aegis. I mean, look, they haven't gotten a tier 2 on AVULUS with this Aegis. It's purely been for farming, which is fair enough, but they haven't taken more of the map away yet. Boka.
Gonna find the Boka. Just another freebie. The Boka even dropping the Will-O-Wisp just to give a bit more gold over to the side of AVULUS for the looks of it. In fact, never mind. Desire just leaves. 4k net worth now for AVULUS. The TA net worth, it's just 1k ahead of Smiling Knight. So really nothing to write home about. Fly working towards the MKB. Smiling Knight about to finish up the butterfly completely.
Yeah, you're in a solid game state again for AVULUS. The side of YB at this point, it does feel like you need a couple of small things to come out. Like, Emo's going for the full SNY, that stat res is going to be massive. But a bigger thing I think he needs is really just a shard.
Oh, Fly!
Ooh.
They just left him. They just TP top, and now Emo, he's going to try for Fly, but Fly, he's got teammates. Ollie will get a TP away. He'll be fine. None of this really concerns me more than the fact that Fly's died another time alone down bottom.
Yeah, it's slipping up a little bit here in YB. They're so disciplined just a moment ago, and one little slip up with how mobile and how far reaching your control is on AVULUS. Very easy to punish anyone that's out of position. You have to show a lot of respect here from the side. Although they snipe a courier, they got the recalls going, but no one's down bot any longer. And again, the side of AVULUS just cleaning up. They're getting to that point where they're scaling up. You're going to get a sight of Vice on Mobe sooner rather than later. More control to come in for the side of AVULUS. You're going to get the protection of a BKB for Smiling Light, as he does have that full butterfly going. So his damage is almost at its zenith, right? It's almost at its peak point at this point in the game. And for the side of YB, I mean, they have a really good team fight. They just need to latch onto a bigger target. Like the last big engagement saw was all fully on Desire. You can't go for that Mirana first. If you have to, kill Fly. Fly is a major target that you have to take care of. And then you can consider the chorus, but the Mirana it's a secondary target. You don't care too much. The Storm is annoying, but you have other pressing concerns here on the side of YB.
YB, I mean, they're down bottom again. Get rid of some wards while they're here. Seems like there is a bit of a group up now from AVULUS. They have brought 3 bodies down for a defense where necessary. Meanwhile, though, Fly, gotta be careful. Mobe and Smiling Knight are both at that top spot, but they won't see Fly. In fact, Emo's gonna rotate now with Ollie towards that top lane, and it seems like AVULUS are pretty well aware that this rotation's happened. They will retreat. Is there a smoke to come? I don't think anyone's holding one here for... In fact, they are holding one. You've got one on Desire. 2, in fact.
Radiant are scanning.
Good gun for it. Their vision has faded away. The one right in front of that tier 2 tower. So the map is a little bit dark right now for the side of AVULUS. They're not really under pressure to play this one fast, though. They can't afford to sit back. They can't afford to count on their scaling. Because even the Mirana can become a secondary core. Desire is going into that Dragonlance, maybe a Hurricane Pike for a little bit more utility. Also just some nice range to get some damage off. Sibe still has ways to go as well. The damage coming out from the Ags isn't quite high yet. You know, you're not getting the biggest Stinger usages in the world. But he's going to get more durable once that full Lotus is up. There's that BKB we were mentioning on Smiling Light, fully done. The MKB for Emo is flying out now, but he's lacking that debuff immunity in comparison, so it's always going to be a risk.
MKB picked up the perfect time for Fly just before this fight, but if he dies, there's no buyback. So Fly, oh, not Fly. He's the first one caught. He's running. He's not out of it yet. In fact, the Fiend's grip was committed, but the Static Storm cancels it. Immediate cancel on Fly. Fly's gonna make it out. Now that would have been a dangerous death too, because again, he just bought the MKB. And they may have spotted it to know that we could probably move high ground knowing that he's got no buyback as Roshan.
It's a quick one.
Sneaky Roshan.
And that's the power of the Cobble. With those recall charges, just drag all of your team back into this point, and now they have a really good smoke angle out as well. They're showing on mid. Not quite on the side of AVULUS, but... Oh.
Smiling Knight gonna turn around happily, but it's a lot of damage incoming from Fly. The Nightmare will save a little bit. Smiling Knight trying to BKB and just run away. Zippe jumped in, but the Will-O-Wisp making it very hard to actually move. He'll pop his own BKB and TP out as Fly is just gonna be left behind. Horrible team fight this time for AVULUS, but thankfully for them, they only really end up losing Fly. So not too much really was lost. But it seems as though we have Yakult brothers now feeling like they're in control once again with this Aegis.
That they should be. And they've got that leeway on Fly to take some risks. They're utilizing the recall quite nicely now as well, working the map quite fast, just taking their own shrines of wisdom and getting some map space going for themselves. They still have quite a fair bit of room to grow. I think beyond going for the Shivas is going to be massive. A little bit of that spell amp's going to be great. You've got the Ags timing still lining up here for Ollie. And that mute on the Static Storm is going to make this tremendously difficult for AVULUS. So you want to bank in this timing for Ollie. You want to depend on this Disruptor to not get caught out. He also has the Greedy on Ninja Gear. So he is getting that gold relatively quick for the Disruptor. The timing shouldn't be too bad, but there's some bigger timings lined up. There's that full side of Vice from Obey.
Fly. He's very far forward. Keep in mind, he has that Aegis up. They're going to see Ollie first. They'll take Ollie's life away. And Fly, he was pretty much alone apart from Ollie, but he will be able to escape. TP once again back towards his team. It's really hard to know at this stage who's actually winning this game. In fact, Dota Plus agrees because we're at 49 to 51% again. Nobody
at this point in the game, I would say the Terrorblade is certainly a better hero, but they're taking these fights well.
They are taking these fights well. Zippe, though, he's in. He's onto the TA. Maybe they can find that first life, and they can. Fly loses the Aegis. Meanwhile, Fly holding down the Fiend's Grip on the Rolling Thunder of Beyond. So Beyond looks like he might just get left behind, though he does try to swashbuckle away, but a nice Nightmare from Fly going to lock him down. Beyond not going to escape. And that was your Aegis. Not really panning out the way that Yakult brothers would have liked. In fact, they jump in again. Desire now being targeted. That's a lot of damage though. Fly's gonna find the kill. Meanwhile, Stipe gonna try for the TP out with the Ghost Scepter, is probably gonna make it. Meanwhile, Emo though does get caught with the Nightmare, but he still manages to run his way out. Uh-oh. Viper Strike does land onto the Coddle. Mobay now a bit of a sitting duck here to Fly, but Fly lost vision. He used the Hurricane Pike, but he doesn't have a vision. Doesn't really matter though. They're still going. Fly gonna go down now to Fly. Meanwhile, Smiling Knight trying to fight Emo. Here comes another Burrow Strike in from Zippe. Ending up killing off Ollie now as Fly's not feeling quite as safe, trying to retreat a little bit. In goes Emo once again. Fly wants to keep the fight going another time as he will move in and does just blow up the Sankey. What's happening?
That was just insane. They do some good weaving. I think for the side of YB, they break up that fight in probably the best way you could ask for. Like, Beyond cops off that tension. You have time to regroup as a team. You have time to look for the flank back. And yeah, you lose Aegis early, but the Aegis only had like, what, maybe half a minute left on duration. So you do get some value out there for the side of YB, as it's close to expiry anyway. And they had to blow a lot just for that kill onto Beyond. That's a key thing. That's something we were talking about early. Resource management is still important for AVULUS. Like, are you overcommitting all of these spells? Are you getting enough value from your team fight? Like, if you hold up the Pangolier, if he dies, has he done his job? Beyond did stall enough for the safe respawn of Fly. And that was key to it. He was dragged, he was held in that grip very far away from where the Aegis popped. And that just gave the opportunity for Fly to get back in and regroup with Emo quite nicely. They take a nice melee Rax. They back off as you were seeing the damage from the Demon Zeal illusions of Smiling Light actually do quite a fair bit of work. But they've swung the game back their way on the side of YB. For AVULUS, again, you're still at the point where this Terrorblade feels like a very scary hero, right? And there's still some room to go, although you are out of item slots for it. Have to maybe start thinking about tossing these power treads away to keep that scaling going. For the side of YB, I mean, you still have slots available. Fly, he's not even opting for his own BKB at this point. Does look like he's just going straight for the Butterfly, which I can respect. Just wants to keep that damage going on. Emo does finish up the full Sanch and Yasha after a bit of a long wait. And the stat res is going to be great. And you have even more minus armor with Beyond, having that Assault Cuirass up. So all of these things are stacking up. You don't have any additional armor aura on the side of AVULUS as they are looking for the smoke. A little bit of a dark smoke coming out from them. Have to hope to get lucky into running into a bigger target.
Here we go. Oh, no sign of Yakult brothers on the map. It's Moonlight Shadow from AVULUS, not really getting them anywhere.
Are scanning.
They've got to get back and, of course, address that top lane, so they'll have to give up on the gank attempt, make a move back to defend. Yakult brothers now feeling much safer seeing these heroes on the map. Swift Blink brought out by Fly, so his damage output just keeps getting worse and worse for, at least for if you're AVULUS. Here's a smoke up now from Yakult brothers as they do look to move through the mid lane. In fact, never mind that, they'll move through to the Radiant Triangle. Do they see Smiling Knight? They know his illusions are up there. So they know the real hero must be somewhere there, but he is going to TP out at the right moment and does completely avoid any gank that was incoming as well.
Yep. Nice little read, not seeing anyone on the map. He's recognized that perhaps a move's coming in. So they miss an opportunity. We are stalling long enough that Roshan is going to be up, and you've got the TA on your side here for YB. They've got the innate third eye to see the exact timer once this initial timer fades away. So you might be able to stall this one on the side of YB just to wait for that safety net. Mind you, AVULUS will not let you get it for free, of course. They still have control of their bot jungle. They have good wards watching the pit, at least the bottom pit for now. And again, they do have that scaling. It's becoming a little bit of an issue with how many Ghost Scepters there are on hand. We've been seeing Fly try to counteract that with some trap denials, getting some side blades going. Just not enough when everyone has one up. Emo.
Oh, big jump in. Emo. He does get his BKB off. He's going to try and survive till his team gets here. He has made it up, and out back Smiling Knight.
Oh.
He gets caught in the static storm. This could be rather dangerous for him because they have the Aghanim Scepter. The Nightmare, though, buying him time. Smiling Knight, he can get away just barely with the BKB. Does get his way out. Meanwhile, Zibe jumping in, missing a Burrow Strike on literally everybody else, but he's just doing so much damage with the Epicenter. They will finally take down Beyond and Ollie. That was such a horrific start for AVULUS because they had the Ags static storm, so the BKB could never come out from Smiling Knight. But Fly with the clutch Nightmare, with the Sleepwalk, allowing him to get out of the static storm. That's one way.
It was that, and the bounces from Beyond just pushed him out. Pushed him way out of that combination coming in from Ollie. Does cost them quite a fair bit. Now without that teamfight potential for the defense, YB, it's still a little bit of a risk for AVULUS. They drew everything out here.
Fly is okay. They don't quite get a Rax. They'll walk away with the tier 3 tower. They do need to address that top lane again. Like, Baboka's actually TPing over to make sure it just keeps getting worse. Meanwhile, AVULUS, they ignore the top lane. They'll go after Roshan instead. Take it while you can. Of course, they are well and truly aware that Roshan is up and probably happening right now, so they are rushing towards the pit, but it's already too late. Roshan is down. Emo's going to try and force the fight anyway, taking down Fly to start. Who else can they find? Emo, going to be somewhat cautious now as the Viper Strike does land, but a nice static storm going to ensure they do find Mobay. And AVULUS, they just seem to want to retreat. They don't want the fight now as it's a 4v5. Emo, he's going to jump in on Smiling Knight. He's found the main target, but Zipe's going to jump in with a big epicenter. Ollie's in big trouble. Ollie should be falling here, and he does. Mobay does fall as well, though, and that's a dieback on the Viper. That's a dieback on our Viper as Fly's still going. Smiling Knight, he gets Nightmare up by who? Oh boy, a complete mess of a fight. As they do continue trying to run here, Smiling Knight might be forced to just try and fight. Fly's moving back in. Here comes Emo.
Oh.
They've jumped the TB once again. He still has an Aegis up though, Smiling Knight. He'll die once. They've got Sibe moving back in to try and help out. Smiling Knight still has a Sunder and a Satanic. A beautiful Burrow Strike here at the Fly. Refraction charge is burning, but Zipe, he can't handle the damage here from our TA.
Oh,
as
no.
they've lost it. Smiling Knight's going down a boot. That's got to be
No
it.
buybacks.
No, but they committed everything that fight, John.
Oh, that was just unfortunate. I believe Smiling Like just accidentally hit a nightmare target.
Oh.
Fly died. I think it was actually on Popoka, if I recall right from what I was seeing. GG's called. A good fight coming out from AVULUS, a much better showing in comparison to game one, but YB just on top.